it's Ruth and welcome to Pocket of Inspiration, where we create better versions of ourselves. So now, are you someone who considers yourself very talented and you have the dream of using your voice to spread a particular message, but you lack the confidence and you just don't know how to get started? Then today's guest is here to help.
Sammy Medas is an award-winning gospel recording artist. He is a producer, writer, musician, and composer. He is also the CEO and owner of Comfort Zone Entertainment, Guyana's premier Christian record label and event management agency. He has a heart to see Guyanese music go to another level and have his music bring hope to his fans.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's really good.
Hi everybody.
Yes. So the first time we met was at Expo in Guyana when we had you being awarded for that, being honored for that Smiling Award you received. And you come up far, we went to your concert, which was amazing.
Thank you.
The energy was charged. So you've been in the music industry for some time now. What was your inspiration growing up? Who was your inspiration? And when did you decide, you know what, I want to become a music artist, and how did you get started?
Well, I got a whole lot of inspirations, but for Guyanese, I think Eddie Neblet was the top inspiration in my life. Like when he came out with his album Anointed to Prosper, and I listened to the reggae that he sang. I think it was then that I realized that it's possible for Guyanese to really get into music. I always loved music because I grew up in the house of the Lord. I started playing at age 5, but when I heard Eddie Neblet sing, I was like, yeah, this is something I want to do. So he was a big influence. I actually got to meet him a long time back. As a matter of fact, he used to play bass guitar too. The first time that I met him, before I found out that he sang. I was like, yo, this dude is so cool. And he writes so well and he composes music so well. I want to be just like that. So that was my number one inspiration.
So you had a dream of becoming someone like Eddie. How did you get started? So a lot of people have that vision when they want it, but what steps did you really take?
Well, to tell the honest truth, and like a lot of aspiring artists in Guyana, we don't have a lot of examples, Guyanese examples, much less examples that we can meet and sit down and talk with and say, show me the ropes of how to do this and how to do that. I think it's just the grace of the Lord that actually got this far. Because me and my cousins were just, because, well, we were young, so we didn't have to work. Just spend a whole lot of time in church, even when there wasn't any church. Summertime, go in church, take out the instruments, make music, right? So it started with a love for the thing. So I didn't want to get into music because it made you famous or gave you the spotlight. It was just a genuine love for music, and because I was also musically gifted. Then in 2008, I think, 2008, I found out about this little Christian studio in West Rundville. With Philip Williams and Noel Williams. They had a studio, and their church was connected to my church. So I really wanted to do this song, and by then people had known me on the West Coast where I grew up for singing. So I said I wanted to do this song. I went to a couple people and I said, you gotta get this money. It's like $20,000. That was a lot of money back then. And I said, yo, we want some money because we want to go and record the song, me and my cousin Alan Betty. So my first experience in the studio was in 2008, sometime around then. And I had this innate ability to produce what I was hearing in my head. And so I learned the ropes. Even when I went to the studio, I was keen to what they were doing. I was taking in. Because if you're going to be good at your craft, then you got to make yourself a student to the craft. You can't go with the mentality that you know everything. And so I did a lot of reading and checking up on the internet, watching a whole lot of YouTube videos to see how artists do what they do, And that was the beginning of the process of recording. And I'm thankful for it because it taught me a whole lot now because I'm producing. And if I had not paid attention back then to the ropes, and sometimes you don't have the teachers, you gotta go find them. So the internet was one of the big helps for me.
So coming up in the music industry, I'm sure you've faced many challenges.
Oh yeah.
What was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it? Like for those out there who might experiencing the same problems right now, what would you advise them? What would you say to them?
First of all, anything is possible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. But a lot of times we have to invest in ourselves before people invest in us.
I love that.
And I had to invest in myself a lot. Because first of all, just because I have a passion don't mean that people share my passion. They might think that it's noble, but they don't have a vested interest in it. So doing music requires money. And so I had to work. At that time I was working at Guyana, so I go to work 7 in the morning and come home at 4 in the afternoon and leave to travel to town to record music. It was tiring, but I loved it. And sometimes, and I had to take the money that I was working for. I remember I was working for $28,000 a month. And just pouring all this money into the music because you can't expect to go to people every time and say, oh, I want to just give me 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever. You want to be a test, you got to invest in yourself. And a lot of times you got to believe in yourself before people believe in you. I'm at the point now where like the last concert that I had, my album launch, I went to people and said, yo, I'm doing my album launch, I want X money from you, and they'd give it. But if I had not invested in myself over the years and proven and been consistent in what I was doing, then people wouldn't have believed in me. So that was one of the key things. You gotta invest in yourself, and invest in your crowd. Because a lot of times, sometimes people think what we're doing is noble, and there are times when people don't believe in it at all because it's never been done. And that's another thing, because when I decided to pursue music, people are like, nobody in Guyana don't do music because you can't live off it. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't go to UG. Actually, I quit UG to pursue music. That was, okay, I don't even want to relive that. But, you know, I really believed in what I wanted to do. I didn't have all the answers, but I was willing to invest in it. And now I'm traveling here, there, and everywhere doing music. And people don't even know the background story there. But I'm glad that it happened the way it happened. At one time, I was wishing that I'd probably win some competition and get some record deal from GT&T Juvenile Song Competition, but God didn't have it like that. I guess He wanted to teach me that sometimes you gotta take the long road and endure before you actually reach the mountain top.
Yes, I love that. So I'm sure you've been on multiple stages to perform, but how do you prepare yourself before you go on? Like, is there like a routine you mentally prepare yourself? Do you experience like nervousness, and if you do, and what do you do?
There's always that nervousness. If you don't experience nervousness before you go on stage, something is wrong. Because remember, and even, well, maybe artists have been doing it for years and years and years, but there's always that sense of expectancy, but not knowing what to expect. Because every time you go on the stage, you're not going in front of the same audience. You're going, and it's worse when you're going to do your own music. If you're going to perform somebody else's music, then you can do it. But there's a feeling of anxiety when you're about to present yourself, your gift to the people. But I'm very comfortable in myself. That's the other thing that I had to learn. Because when I first started singing, people say, oh, you sound like Sherwood Gardner, oh, you sound like Christopher Martin, oh, you sound like Jeremy Edwards, you sound like Sherwood Franklin, and all of these things. And I had to come into myself and to who I was, who God made me to be. And realize that if the world is not looking for another Christopher Martin or whoever, Mariah Carey, the world is looking for the next you. And so I'm very comfortable in myself now. So whether you give me 5 minutes on the stage or you give me an hour on the stage, I'm very comfortable with that. But I like to find, like one of my friends asked me why I always disappear before and after I perform. Because you got to get yourself in that frame of mind. You can't be laughing and yapping with everybody. You got just pull away, focus. Because a lot of times, before you go to an event, they tell you got 30 minutes. When you go to an event, something happens and they cut it down to 20 minutes. So you gotta be focused to learn how to adjust. Sometimes you go on stage and things are not the way that they're supposed to be. Something cut out, the main keyboard is having problems. So you gotta learn how to maneuver focus. So I just pull away from everybody and make sure that I'm focused, that my mind is free, that in the event of something happening that is unexpected, that my mind is not just burdened down with a whole lot of things, so I can maneuver and adjust. I also pray before I go on stage, because I feel like as an artist, whether you believe it or not, whether you're Christian or not, when you're an artist, you're serving people, and it's a spiritual thing, because people, especially when you have fans, they're open to you. When you stand on stage, you're giving more than just music. You know, they're receiving from you, especially when you're singing from stuff that you wrote. They're receiving who you are and what you have to offer. So I try to make sure that I have tangible stuff that is more than just music and it's entertainment, but it's impacting people. And they not only remember me after they leave, but they remember how I felt when I met, how they felt when I ministered and I was presenting the Lord to them.
Good. So, how do you see yourself in the next 5 years? In 5 years, how do you see yourself?
What? Last year was a major year for me, because I didn't even, when I released Royalty, the song, not even the album, the song, I didn't have a clue that it reached so far and opened so many doors to me. So now I'm traveling here, there, and everywhere, and I know it's not gonna last forever. I'm gonna be traveling, and I always tell those that are, because I produce music for people, and I get a whole lot of joy producing music for myself and for people. You know, not just being on stage, but being in the studio and having to come up with new concepts and making what people get come to life. I love it. So in the next 5 years, I'll be doing a lot more production than I'm doing right now. Because that also has money. So it's not just about going and performing, it's about loving what you do. And I love producing, and I know I have the scope for it. And producing for some of Guyana's, because Guyana has a lot of good artists that are coming up. So hopefully I could play a part in helping to push them and helping to help them realize their dreams and to get out in the world and get.
So, what do you think is the single most important core value for creating the best version of yourself?
Oh, listen, I always say this, right?
Yeah.
And it's because I just don't say it because I think it's a nice quote. I say it because I believe it. God has made all of us as originals, but a lot of times we die, we leave the earth as photocopies because we pattern ourselves after everybody else. And in trying to be like everybody else, we lose our own originality. So I think at the center of it all is to find out your purpose, why God has placed you on this earth, so you can walk in it. Because you can excel at something that you were never supposed to excel in and spend years doing something that you're good at that you were never called to do. And so a void is left, because if God placed me on this earth to impact, we get to use them. But I am good at something else, maybe accounts or whatever, then I'm good in this area, but this void is still left down here. And at this particular time when I'm supposed to impact them and impart into them, and I'm over here because all my friends are going into this lane. You know, so it's to find what God has placed you on the earth to do, and then begin to walk in it. And when we begin to walk in what God has placed us to do, then the provision comes. It's almost automatic. It's a prerequisite. Walking in your purpose, and God says, if you walk in your purpose, then I will connect you with the right people, so that your purpose could come forward. I connect you with the right resources, so that your purpose could come forward. And for me, walking in purpose is one of it's actually the most important thing. That at the end, when I die, however I die, whenever I die, when God wants to take me home, then I can say, yeah, I really walked in my purpose and I excelled in it.
So, what impact have you seen your music, your ministry to have on? Right, because one time I went on Facebook, and I have you as a friend, and when I saw a video of a bride and a groom covered in dancing to Sammy, so I was like, yay, Sammy! I was like, oh my god, that's so exciting.
I know, I blushed. I know the music is good.
Yeah.
I know it. Because I'm a musician, it's not just a subjective opinion. I know the music is good. And I know people gravitate to good music. But I want to share hope when people listen to my music, you know, wherever they are, that they can still connect with God. I think that's one of the underlying, I think that's one of the undercurrents of from my music when you listen to it, that a relationship with God is possible, and that would challenge the level of it wherever you are. Don't stay where you are. And I mean, people share testimonies with me about, you know, some of them were suicidal until they heard my song and then they felt that it was cool. And these are the things that I live for more than just money. You know, be able to impact young people. Some of the things I can't even share. I mean, somebody else shared the other day that they suffer with some kind of disease that has you in a lot of pain, and then they put on my music. It just suits them. The one woman told me that she wasn't able to get pregnant for years, and then there's this song that I sang called "In My Day," of God turning your night season into your day season. You just gotta go through it. And then she said she played this song and she believed, and then, you know, she got her miracle, and she was really encouraged through her tough season. And that's all I want, and I'm seeing it happening. And this is how I know that I'm walking in purpose, because it's really not about me. I'm just the conduit for what God wants to do in the earth, and it gives me great fulfillment.
Well, I did not tell you so we have stories, and there's someone I met a while ago, and I went to an event of yours, and when I walked in, your music was loud. Every time I come in contact with this person, in the car or whatever, they always play music, and I wanted to think to myself, oh, that's Sammy. I am this person. And this person is so obsessed with
I'm
you.
sorry. I got the money to promote it.
So I was like, you know what? And she's here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and she's here with you to share, and her name is Atalia.
What?
Atalia Israel.
You! And she sat so quiet at the door. Hello. Hi. I came through the door and I heard somebody say, "Hi, Sammy." But I was like, did you say hi, Sammy?
No, it was.
Oh, I was like, oh, I don't know anybody here. What nice to meet you. Christina, you know this?
It was the fact that you use your art to draw people closer to God. And I think that is the most sexiest thing to do on earth.
Well, I've never heard that again.
Right.
Yes, but okay.
Because
I get the point.
the whole fact that you would use your calling and your passion to draw people closer to God, that's my greatest ambition. And how it has impacted me also is because at the beginning of 2018, this I decided was my non-negotiable year. Mediocrity, well, that's a no. I came across it's already done. So everything that I'm working on, it's already done. It's already done. Like we had the debate competition for our Toastmasters Club, of which in my mind I've already conditioned my team as the winning team.
Wow.
As the best speaker,
Wow.
and it's already done because we won.
This is how media, right?
Yes. Kasi Toastmasters, we are the current reigning champions in Guyana. It's already done, and my most recent is last night. I entered this speech competition. It was last year, but the results were last night. And because it's already done, and I really want to thank God for your life. And don't stop. Just keep going because you don't know the people you touch. And I, like you said, it's my car. It's because it puts you in that zone that when we're in a spiritual level, and anything you do, you have to connect with that spiritual level.
Yes. Thank you so much. Actually, can't follow, but you can see it. Whenever you remember what praise the people I work with, you just want to do this forever. Until God says, you want to help us. This is really what it's about.
Yeah, because when I started listening and going through all of the albums, and then I heard this song, Unconditional. I was with my friends. That's my cousin. And I'm like, all crazy, right? And I'm like, call her up, like, tell me what's going on. She's like, that's how you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, calm down. But I'm like, so all of this information is out there once you reach inspiration, motivation, all of that really exists. We just have to tell me.
Yes, yeah, Richard.
So this is a divine connection because, like I said, since about 4 weeks ago, it's been currently, and because it's already done, I knew I would have gotten the chance.
It's already done.
It's already done. So there it was, that Ruth in the car. She's like, you know, I have an interview with Sammy. I'm like, you got to be crazy. And then in my silent moments, I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, you know, I have this great idea.
Look, I need to be careful what you say because apparently you say something, you know.
Greatness, destiny, it's already done. But the biggest thing about this meeting is my calling is teaching people how to live a legacy of wealth. Because a lot of us, we undervalue who we are because we are well. So the idea of teaching people to build a legacy of happiness, health, and love. And because I know you already in mind my company, Outliers Zone, would like to present you and provide this complimentary legacy masterclass.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I didn't more surprises like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And I know my husband listening to me with all this music. I have to be there. He's like, what? So I mean, I give thanks because it's all about building a legacy, and I see you are doing that, even with loyalty. Like that is the team song, even in the workshop, because that's who we are, and it's time that we start living.
Thank you so much.
So, Sammy, how do you feel? I don't like that tell you anything.
Yo. I feel really good. I feel Thank you.
Yes, wait, before you go, I have 2 albums that are signing autographs, and I want to give out them to 2 of my lovely subscribers. So if you want to have one of these, all you have to do
is list 10 Sammy Medas songs in the comments.
You want to kill these people. Yeah, so leave a comment, subscribe first, leave a comment, hashtag royalty, I want to win, and share this video.
But you giving it away free, you gotta make them work for it.
They will work for it too. You have a fan page?
Yeah.
Good. You have to go on his fan page, like his fan page, right? Tag a friend, share this video. I want this video everywhere. And we will choose you, right? Lucky to
It's already done.
We'll get in contact with you if you can take it. So you could be one of those persons who only wants Sammy's album, right? Sign to.
See you.
Okay. Alright then. So subscribe and leave your comments below. Okay?
You never give up on me, so how me I go sell up? How me I go trade my blessing for the blessing? How me I go trade my peace down for the stressing? It's just not the same.